Hey, what's up, gentlemen and ladies? You guys might recall that back during E3 of this year, Square Enix made an announcement saying that at this year's Gamescom, their main focus and what they were mainly going to be showing for the majority of the event was going to be Final Fantasy 15, which kind of had a lot of people sort of scratching their heads because Final Fantasy 15 came out almost a year ago at this point. I know, it's crazy to think about, isn't it? But what could they possibly have to show up, right? I mean, a little spin-off or DLC makes sense, but for it to be their entire focus for the whole event just didn't make any sense. And, well, Gamescom happened last week, and they weren't lying. And, you know, credit where credit is due, they did announce some cool things at Gamescom. They had the Final Fantasy 15 PC port, which is going to have integrated mod support, which is awesome if you have a PC that can run it, because the requirements to run Final Fantasy 15 were, like, stupid and just ridiculous. But if you have it and you've wanted to play Final Fantasy 15 and you haven't up to this point for some reason, then knock yourself out. But there was two announcements in particular, and I had actually already recorded a video of me talking about the first one, and I didn't even get to upload that video before they announced the second thing that I'm going to be talking about. And with these things, a lot of people have been, you know, just talking about it, just voicing their opinion on these things. Some are good, some are bad, but I'm reminded of a promise that I made to myself when I first started my channel. To, you know, not to any other person in particular, just something that I said I would do myself, and that is that on my channel, I would never do two things. I would never do outright clickbait, either, you know, on the title or the thumbnail of a video, and I would never fake or lie about my reactions or feelings towards something. Now, clearly those two are things that the majority of the people in the community that talk about this kind of stuff don't give a shit about, but I do, because I have respect for my fans. And the way that I feel towards this is, what the fuck is this bullshit, Square Enix? No, really. What is this shit that you are trying to shove down our throats? I'm, of course, talking about Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which just sounds stupid, and the Final Fantasy 15 Assassin's Creed collaboration DLC that they're gonna have soon, which they've hinted at for a while, but it was actually officially confirmed today, or yesterday, I guess it was at this point, and I can't fucking believe that they're actually doing it. Now, your feelings towards this may be different, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna sit here and tell anybody that they shouldn't be excited for this. If you are, good for you. Honestly, I could not care any less. You do you, that's great. But for me, as somebody who has not only followed, but been making videos about Final Fantasy 15 for 3 years at this point, I actually just reached my 3-year anniversary on this channel a couple of days ago, I'm sick of it. And it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy 15 itself. The game is fine. A lot of people did not like the game, but honestly, it's just suffering like Final Fantasy cycle right now, where like the newest game gets a bunch of hate, and then in a few years when the next one comes out, people are gonna hate on that one and like this one, like Final Fantasy 13 is going through right now. So I honestly have nothing against the game. The game was fine. It was good, honestly. I'd say that the game was good. But it's all this extra bullshit that they've been adding, and it kills me, because I had already made a video like this and about this topic not even too long ago, like a month or two ago. I was talking about the Final Fantasy 15 VR bullshit of Monster of the Deep, as it was called, and what was the freaking name of that stupid mobile game? A New Empire, which had just been announced and had just come out, respectively. And I said that I was sick of all the bullshit that Square Enix was doing with Final Fantasy 15 and how they were milking it literally for everything that it had. And then they turn around and do this shit not even like 2 months later. And you know, to a degree, I could kind of get the other ones. I could kind of get the Final Fantasy 15 VR thing, because while it looked terrible, it looked lame compared to what they had shown last year. It looked like it had nothing to it. It's literally just a fishing game. It's the worst aspect of Final Fantasy 15, the fishing. Literally the most annoying trophy to get in the entire game, more so than sitting through the 5 hours that it takes to beat Adamantoise. No, the fishing was the most painful thing, and they decided to take that and make a full game out of it. But you know what? It may have been a cash-in for the PlayStation VR, but at least it was something different. And with Final Fantasy 15 A New Empire, I cannot believe that I'm actually fucking defending Final Fantasy 15 A New Empire. But even though, yes, it was just a stupid Clash of Clans knockoff wannabe, at least it was different. At least it was unique compared to the other stuff related to Final Fantasy 15. Unlike Pocket Edition, which is literally just Final Fantasy 15 on a fucking iPhone. Who the fuck approved this bullshit? Who thought that this would be a good idea? And especially, it's one thing if they had that and they made it free. Because A New Empire was free. Justice Monsters 5 was shit, but it was free. And King's Knight is probably going to be free too. I don't even know when the fuck we're going to get King's Knight. We've been waiting for that shit for like a year at this point. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, they have the yen cost, and it doesn't exactly translate to US dollars, you know, 100% correct, but they're going to charge for the later 9 episodes of this, because it's going to be episodic. And I'm not talking like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is going to be split into multiple parts, but a lot of people mistakenly say that it's episodic when it's not. It's actually going to be real episodic, like a Telltale game, and they're going to charge for the latter 9 parts. And the estimate for how much all of them are going to cost together was anywhere between $30 and $200. You heard that right. Anywhere between 30 and 200. And while 200 may seem stupid and like a ridiculously high amount, $30 for a mobile game is a stupid, ridiculous high amount. That's half of what Final Fantasy 15 costs on the PlayStation 4. In fact, it was on sale on the PSN not too long ago. It might even still be now. For like $20 or $30, something like that. Yet this is how much the Pocket Edition, the shitty edition of Final Fantasy 15, is gonna cost. On an iPhone. Who... I can't even be mad, honestly. I don't have the energy to be mad at them. Because they just do so much bullshit. I can't even anymore. First, the game looks like shit, okay? The graphics, the character design look terrible. And it's not just because they're like dumbed down versions of the characters, because that can work well. Honestly, they could have just taken the World of Final Fantasy art style. That works perfectly for something like this, but instead they had to make these like really weird, deformed looking characters. Can you guys imagine? I want you to, for a second, and I guess spoilers for Final Fantasy 15 if you have not played it by this point, but I want you guys to imagine what Luna's death scene is going to look like in this art style. Or what the ending of Final Fantasy 15 is going to look like in this art style. Now honestly, it could have worked. Like, as hard as it is to believe, it might have even worked. If they had gone full on with this, if they had decided to just make it like full on comedy, full on funny, not really take anything seriously, and you know, have them all be basically like a cartoon, like an old school Looney Tunes cartoon level with Final Fantasy 15. But instead what they did is they literally one for one took the main game and just ported it over to smartphones. It's got the exact same voice acting, which does not fit at all. They didn't even bother to redo the freaking lines. It's the exact same game, and they expect people to actually pay for it. Why are they doing this? To milk the fuck out of Final Fantasy 15 and get every last penny that they can out of it. Outright. There's no denying it. You can look forward to this game. That's perfectly fine. You can buy every episode and enjoy them. That's perfectly okay. That's amazing. Good for you, honestly. Like, I envy you for getting enjoyment out of something like that. But you cannot deny that it's a cash grab that did not need to exist. And as for the Assassin's Creed bullshit, this started way back when, in the Omen trailer, before Final Fantasy 15 even came out. You guys may remember there was the Assassin's Creed symbol on the newspaper. And many people thought that that was just a reference to the fact that the Omen trailer was actually made by the team that does a lot of the Assassin's Creed trailers, so, you know, it made sense. And then recently, in some of the stuff that they showed off for the new Assassin's Creed game, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, the one from Egypt, there was a dog in it that looked an awful lot like Umbra from Final Fantasy 15. And honestly, I saw some people point it out, but I thought it was just like a coincidence. I was like, I mean, if people are looking for it, they're gonna find it. But no, apparently this was all leading up to this collaboration that they have. And I don't know if they're doing anything for Assassin's Creed, if like they're getting some kind of DLC that's Final Fantasy 15 related, I'm not sure. But the Final Fantasy 15 one is the one that I care about, or don't care about, or I'm disappointed in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And once again, I will reiterate, if you're hyped for this, if you are looking forward to this, if you are going to buy it or download it or whatever, I don't know if it's going to cost money. This didn't need to happen. Honestly. This is the type of just extra bullshit that they have because they know that Assassin's Creed is popular. And it's not the first time that they've collaborated like this. In fact, it's not even the first time that they've done it with Assassin's Creed. If you guys recall, in Final Fantasy 13-2, which I've been seeing a lot of recently because the Final Fantasy Marathon that's been going on this past couple weeks is on Final Fantasy 13-2 right now. So they had these Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect outfits for Sarah and Noel. So it's not even actually the first time that they've done a collaboration with them like this, but it's the first time that they've gone so full on, and I am honestly surprised that they put this much effort into it, which I guess in a way is a good thing. Like, yes, they're putting more effort into it instead of just half-assing it, but they're putting effort into things that nobody was asking for instead of things that people were constantly, actively asking for directly to them through the survey. You guys remember the Final Fantasy 15 survey where they're like, hey, do you want to see Arden's backstory? Do you want more Dark World? Do you want all these other cool things that people have been asking for? And everyone was like, yes, 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 yes. Have we seen any of that in the game? No. But you know what we did see? We saw Assassin's Creed episode, and we saw the fishing VR game, and we saw Pocket Edition, and we saw A New Empire, which nobody asked for, but we're still getting them. The trailer made it look so lame, honestly. Like, it's got to focus on Cindy in this, because episode Cindy is totally what everybody was asking for, right? You know, it's not like they've been hinting that they're going to have all these other character episodes for months at this point, like Arden and Luna and Arnea and Gentiana, and they're just kind of like dangling it over our heads like, hey, this could happen, but we're not going to announce it anytime soon. In the meantime, you can get Cindy in Assassin's Creed in freaking that dumb town that I don't even remember the name of, Lestalem. Yeah, everyone's favorite city in Final Fantasy 15. Honestly, it's the only city in 15 that's mostly all explorable, unlike freaking Alticia and Insomnia. Just why are they wasting their time with this? Why? And like, at this point, nobody really cares, honestly. Like, the only people still playing this are the hardcore Final Fantasy 15 fans that have been following it for years. And if you've been following it for years, I'm sure that you're also sick of this bullshit by this point, like me. I mean, not to speak for everybody else, but we've been waiting so long. The game came out. It was a good game, but it definitely did not meet the standards and the expectations that Square Enix set up for it, and then they're trying to sell us all this other shit, especially when they could very easily fix some of the issues that they had with the game, and in fact they've asked us if we want them to fix it, and we said yes, and they don't freaking fix it, they just add more shit like this, and I just don't, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say about this anymore. I'm just disappointed. That's really all I have to say for it. I could sit here and I could like rage, and I could be mad at them, and I could curse out Tabata, call him a liar, which he is. But honestly, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. Square's been doing this for who knows how long at this point. This isn't the first game that they do it with. Of course, eventually we'll forget about it and we'll all be super hyped for Final Fantasy 16, where they'll probably pull some bullshit like this again, and then we'll forgive them because the game is like somewhat decent, and they'll do it with Final Fantasy 17 and so forth and so on. It's the endless Final Fantasy cycle. God, it's such a shame. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Sorry to be such a downer on all this stuff, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on this out there officially. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Once again, if you're excited for these things, don't take this the wrong way. That's great that you're excited for them, and I can definitely see why some people would be excited for something like this. But at this point, I think I'm just done with Final Fantasy 15. Honestly, I just can't be bothered anymore. Like, I'll probably play Episode Ignis when it comes out. I don't give a shit about Assassin's Creed. I don't give a shit about any of the mobile games. I don't give a shit about VR. The Comrades was terrible. Might make a video about that in the future. But other than that, I don't care. And this is coming from someone whose entire channel was basically dedicated just to Final Fantasy 15 for the past 3 years. You know, among other games, but let's be real, mainly Final Fantasy 15. And even I'm sick of it. And I can't be bothered with this bullshit anymore. Just imagine what like a casual fan feels like. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye, guys. Hey guys, so I'm recording this bit after I already edited the video. It's already nighttime if you can't tell, and basically I didn't really want to end the video on such a kind of downer note, so I figured that I would put this little part in the end to tell you guys that in more cheerful news, the Dissidia Final Fantasy NT beta came out today, and I wanted to do a live stream for it in a couple hours, so at 4 p.m. Eastern Time I will be doing a live stream here on my channel, and I actually have several extra beta codes that I will be giving away during the live stream on my Discord server, so you guys should join that. Links are in the description. Hopefully you decide to come out, maybe play some Dissidia, and it should hopefully be fun. But I guess either way, that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for all things Final Fantasy.